Japan has the cleanest cars on the planet, and it's not even close. Walk down any residential street in Tokyo, Osaka, or Yokohama, and you will see 10-year-old vehicles that look like they just rolled off the showroom floor. Part of that obsession comes from their cultural philosophy, Kaizen, which does not just mean clean. It means beautiful, orderly, and perfectly maintained. Japanese car owners treat vehicle maintenance like a weekly ritual. Neighborhood associations and parking lot rules actually enforce tidy cars. Social pressure alone keeps your vehicle spotless. And the tires? That's where it starts. Because here is the thing most people do not realize. Your tires are the single biggest reason your car looks neglected, even if the paint is flawless. Brown, faded, cracked sidewalls ruin the entire appearance of any vehicle. Japanese detailers figured this out decades ago, and they have developed techniques that keep tires jet black for 6 months or longer. Today, I am revealing 7 of those techniques, and number 4 is the one that completely changed my understanding of tire care. Let's get into it. Trick number 7, the 2-bucket isolation wash. Most people wash their tires as an afterthought. Maybe a quick spray, maybe a wipe with whatever dirty rag is left over. Japanese detailers do the opposite. They wash the tires first before anything else on the vehicle, and they use a completely separate bucket and dedicated tools that never touch the paint. Here is why that matters. Your tires are covered in brake dust, road tar, rubber particulate, and chemical residue that would destroy your clear coat if cross-contaminated. Japanese car care culture treats the wheel and tire zone like a biohazard area. A separate bucket, a separate wash mitt or sponge, and a dedicated medium bristle tire brush. They scrub the sidewalls with firm, circular motions, working from the top down, making sure to hit every groove and every letter in the sidewall. The key here is that they use a pH-neutral, tire-specific cleaner, not dish soap, not all-purpose cleaner, and definitely not whatever leftover car shampoo is in the bucket. Dish soap strips the natural oils out of the rubber, accelerating dry rot and cracking. Japanese detailers understood this long before it became common knowledge in the West. This single habit, keeping tire cleaning completely isolated and using the right products, is the foundation that makes everything else on this list actually work. Trick number 6, the deep decontamination scrub. This is where things get serious. If your tires are brown or discolored, that is not just dirt. That is a chemical reaction called blooming. Every tire manufactured on the planet contains a compound called antiozonant. It is an organic chemical that tire manufacturers embed into the rubber to prevent ozone and ultraviolet rays from cracking and degrading the sidewalls. Without antiozonant, your tires would dry rot and fall apart in a fraction of the time. Over a tire's lifespan, antiozonant migrates outward toward the surface of the rubber. Once it contacts oxygen in the air, it oxidizes and leaves behind that ugly brown residue. The technical name for this is blooming. Most people get this wrong. Blooming is not damage. It is actually proof that the tire's protective chemistry is working. But it looks terrible. Japanese detailers call this a deep decontamination scrub. They use a heavy-duty, non-petroleum-based degreaser or a dedicated tire decontamination product. They spray it liberally onto the sidewall and let it dwell for about 60 seconds. Then they agitate the surface with a stiff bristle brush, using firm, circular motions. The foam will turn brown as the oxidized residue lifts off the rubber. Here is the critical part. They repeat the process until the foam comes out white. That might take 3, 4, even 5 rounds on a neglected tire. Most people stop after one scrub and wonder why the brown comes back in a week. Japanese detailers do not stop until the rubber is completely stripped back to its natural black state. This deep prep is absolutely essential. If you skip this step and just slap dressing on top of a contaminated tire, the dressing will not bond properly, and it will wear off in days. Think of it like painting over rust. It looks fine for a minute, but the problem underneath has not gone anywhere. Trick number 5, the complete dry down before dressing. This sounds stupidly simple, but almost nobody does it properly. After cleaning, Japanese detailers let the tires dry completely before applying any dressing or coating. Not damp, not mostly dry, bone dry. They use a clean microfiber towel to manually dry the sidewalls, then allow them to air dry for an additional 10 to 15 minutes. Some will even move the car a few feet forward to expose the part of the tire that was touching the ground during the wash, and then dry that section too. Why does this matter so much? Water trapped between the rubber and the dressing creates a barrier that prevents proper adhesion. The dressing sits on top of the moisture instead of bonding to the rubber surface. That is why your tire shine wears off after 2 days and slings all over your fenders the first time you drive. Japanese technique eliminates this entirely by ensuring a perfectly dry, perfectly clean surface before anything is applied. Hey, before we get to the next 4 tricks, do me a favor and hit that like button if you are learning something new. It really helps the channel. Trick number 4, choosing water-based wax dressings over silicone. This is the game changer, and it is the reason Japanese tire care results last months instead of days. In Japan, companies like Soft99, which has been manufacturing car care products since 1954, developed a completely different approach to tire treatment. Their products, like the Tire Black Wax and the Digloss Black Devil Tire Wax, use mineral wax, carnauba wax, and ultrafine carbon black pigment instead of the silicone-based sprays that dominate the Western market. Here is why that distinction matters enormously. Silicone-based dressings sit on the surface of the tire. They create that initial glossy, wet look, but they do not penetrate or nourish the rubber. Worse, silicone is inherently sticky. It attracts dirt, dust, and road grime like a magnet, which is why your tires look filthy again within a week. Over time, silicone-based products actually dry out the rubber and accelerate browning. They trap antioxidant on the surface, making blooming worse, not better. Water-based and wax-based dressings work differently. They absorb into the rubber, conditioning it from within and keeping the material soft and flexible. The carbon black pigment in Japanese formulas actually restores the black color that ultraviolet and oxidation have broken down, rather than just coating over the fading. Soft99's wax-based formulas create a hard, durable coating that repels water and resists wash-off for 2 months or longer. Users consistently report that a single application keeps tires looking factory new for 8 weeks or more, even through rain, car washes, and daily driving. The water resistance of these wax formulas is what gives them that insane longevity. Compare that to a silicone aerosol spray from the gas station that barely survives a single rainstorm. It is not even the same category of product. Trick number 3, the thin layer application technique. Japanese detailers never glob product onto the tire, ever. They use a foam applicator pad, take a small amount of product, and spread it in thin, even layers across the entire sidewall. For paste or wax products, they dab the applicator into the product, then work it across the tire in overlapping strokes, making sure every square inch gets even coverage. Then they wait 5 to 10 minutes for the product to set. Then they buff the surface with a clean, soft microfiber cloth. This buffing step is what creates that deep, natural factory matte finish, rather than the artificial greasy shine that screams, "I just sprayed tire shine in my driveway." If they want more gloss, they apply a second thin layer and buff again. If there are stubborn stains or discolored patches, they layer the product until the area is uniform. This method prevents over-application, which is the #1 cause of tire dressing sling. Sling happens when excess product gets flung off the tire by centrifugal force as you drive, leaving black spots all over your wheel wells, fenders, and paint. The Japanese approach eliminates sling entirely because every layer is thin enough to properly cure and bond to the rubber before the next one is applied. One thin layer, wait, buff. A second thin layer if needed, wait, buff. That's it. That patience is what separates a 3-day tire shine from a 6-month tire treatment. Trick number 2. UV barrier protection as standard practice. In Japan, tire care isn't just about looks, it's about preservation. Japanese car owners understand that UV radiation is the #1 environmental killer of rubber. Sunlight breaks down the polymer chains in the tire compound, causing the rubber to become brittle, dry, and cracked over time. This degradation is irreversible. Once dry rot sets in, no amount of dressing or coating will save the tire. Japanese detailers build UV protection into every step of the process. The wax-based and water-based dressings they use contain UV blocking agents that form a sacrificial barrier between the sun and the rubber surface. Think of it like sunscreen for your tires. Every application renews that barrier. This is also why Japanese car enthusiasts apply tire dressing consistently, typically every 1 to 2 weeks as part of their regular wash routine. Even if the tire still looks black, they're renewing the protective layer. They're not waiting for the tire to look bad before treating it. They're preventing it from ever looking bad in the first place. This preventive approach means their tires stay supple, crack-free, and deep black for the entire lifespan of the rubber. The concept is simple. Consistent, light maintenance beats occasional heavy restoration every single time. The tires on a well-maintained Japanese car at 60,000 miles look better than the tires on most Western cars at 10,000. Trick number 1. The ceramic and acrylic tire coating system. This is the nuclear option. Ceramic tire coatings use silicon dioxide nanoparticle technology to chemically bond a semi-permanent protective shell directly to the rubber. Unlike dressings that sit on top, these coatings will not wash off, will not sling, and will not peel. One application lasts 3 to 6 months. Some users report up to a year on garage-kept cars. The real magic is that the coating seals the rubber surface, which prevents antiozonants from leaching out and causing blooming. You are locking in the tire's own defense system while adding external armor on top. The catch: you need to nail the prep. Everything we covered in tricks 6 and 5, the deep decontamination, the full dry down, that is non-negotiable. Skip it, and the coating will not bond. Do it right, and your tires stay jet black for months, while water beads off and dirt barely sticks. That is all 7. If you found these tips useful, smash that like button and subscribe so you do not miss the next video. Drop a comment below telling me which trick you are going to try first. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.